r/AskReddit. People who were involved in sending spam offers, such as the infamous enlarge your penis. How did the company look from the inside? How much were you paid? I worked for a guy that sold an ebook about making millions on the internet. For $49.95, you could get this great PDF of ideas that would generate $1 million ideas. The book was basically a list of things like affiliate marketing with no explanation on how to actually do the things listed. The ad said try my book for 30 days. If you don't like it, you get a full refund. So people would get this book and email immediately for a refund. I sent them a form email that said something like you haven't given the book a full review. All I ask is that you review my money making ideas for a full 30 days, and then if you are not satisfied, I will give you a refund. On the 30th day, the email would change. First email would be asking to describe why you are unhappy. Once you answered that, the second would be offering another free ebook instead of a refund, etc., etc. It's amazing how many times this would work, and people would give up. He had very few chargebacks. Every now and then someone would get the phone number to the office. I think part of the reason he hired me was because I sounded so young that people wouldn't scream at me for as long as they would him. Again, I think they would talk to me and decide I was just some kid and they weren't going to cause problems over $50. This guy made thousands every month on a 100-page book that he clearly pieced together in an hour. I worked there for a month and decided I couldn't do it anymore. Not quite what you are asking, but close enough. I used to work as a developer for a group of payday loan websites in the UK. They contacted me and offered me the job, and a lot of the work involved basically rebranding the same website over and over again. It was explained to me that this allows one customer to take out multiple loans at the same time. The customers think they are taking out loans from different companies, but really it was all the one company with 30 different brandings. So Bob takes out a loan from Brander, then when he has to pay it back he can't afford to, or he wouldn't have taken the loan out in the first place. So he takes out a loan from Brand B, same company, uses it to pay back Brander, then maybe in another couple of weeks takes another loan out from Brand C, etc., and Bob is a paying customer for life. Shower of bastards. Not entirely what you're asking, but I worked at a call center where we took phone calls of people calling about those products. It was $5 hour plus commission, or if you work the overpass shift it was $10/HR plus commission. Anytime you see the penis enlargement and aging cream or anything else, we were the ones you would call. On our end a 4-digit number would pop up on our screen whenever we got a phone call, and you would type in the number into our database. Then a pre-written script would pop up for whichever product they were calling on. We had scripts for over 100 products. The ads usually offered risk-free trials, therefore everyone calling assumed they were getting something for free, when in reality we charged $12.99 for shipping, and we shipped them a month's supply of the product. Then after a month we would auto ship them 3 months worth at a time and automatically charge their credit card. Our customer service department only had 5 people in it and was open 9 to 5 meters F, so it was almost impossible to get a hold of them to cancel. We also offered a lot of add-ons like daily vitamins and magazine offers. We also had scripts for those products that made it very hard for the customers to say no. It was just all around a scam. We used to have male callers who would hang up anytime a male answered the phone and would keep calling back until they got a female. Then they would masturbate to our voices on the phone. I got fired after 4 months for not selling a product hard enough to an elderly woman. I used to be a salesman at a Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram dealership that loved the spam. We would hire an outside company to blow up people's real mailboxes with junk saying they were pre-approved for a new car. Here is the interesting thing, and I'm not sure how it worked. We, or at least the outside marketing company, had access to people's credit scores. We actually targeted lower credit score families because they were more likely to be enticed by the offer. People would actually come in holding the letter with a big red approved stamp on it. They would often balk at us asking them to fill out a credit application. This says right here I'm approved. I don't need no credit application. I never thought that bullshit worked, but it's like catnip to the double-digit IQ community. I wrote utilities for a company to sell to people to make their computers faster, better, and more powerful. The programs sometimes did work, often did little or nothing to help performance, but at about $40 a pop the buyer figured it had to be good. The company would not sell any us out of fear of being arrested. They always offered a money back policy knowing buyers didn't often actually demand their money back. I made a metric crapload of money doing the work, but eventually quit when the pressure to produce new improved products was too much. I worked for 3 years for a digital marketing company based in NIG with an office in the DC metro area. We were the ones who wrote the software that sent the emails, not the companies who made the creatives. Ads. We didn't send scam emails. We sent real ads from real companies. I'll use Blockbuster as an example, since they aren't around anymore to bitch. We did what was called acquisition email, which means that you go on a website, enter your name and email address, and check a box that says you agree to receive ads and are probably signed up to win a free iPad. We collected sign-ups from hundreds of our own servers and also bulk loaded them from third parties. My first assignment at the company was to fix a memory leak in the bulk loader and have it filter out and log invalid entries. Every entry had to have a valid source URL, a first and last name, a correct email address, and a timestamp, which constituted our paper trail that you had signed up. And yes, our unsublinks worked too. Our other technologies revolved around how to get email into the inbox, around spam filters, when to send it. We tracked when people were likely to be reading email, among other things, and collecting demographic information on sign-ups, so that we could tell our advertisers who was reading their ads. The inboxing stuff was pretty neat. One of the things we used was similar to genetic algorithms. We tried various combinations of subject lines, content, and other parameters, and sent to inboxes we owned, until we got through. Then we would use those parameters to send real email, until it got blocked by the filters, at which point the algorithm would adjust the parameters and try again. The project I spent the most time on there was actually a lead gen site, to get sign-ups to for-profit colleges. Colleges would pay between $20 and $50 per lead depending on the quality of the leads, which was measured by conversion, sign-up rates. Typically a college would spend close to $2,000 on leads to get one conversion. So think about your first couple of tuition payments just paying the advertisers that got you to enroll. One of my first jobs was cold calling telephone leads for a double glazing company. We'd sit a room with a phone for each person and a book of names, calling every number asking to speak to the homeowner. We then would read out preset script with only slight personalization saying they had won the chance for free new double glazed windows and doors. You basically had to buy the windows/doors, and if it looked really nice, the company would feature it in their brochure/advertising. The catch was a massive sign on your house saying installed with Zenith windows and doors and OFC. You had to pay for the installation first. As you can imagine, out of about 200 people who'd fall for this, only 1 or 2 would feature in the brochure. It was a room with about 20 to 25 telephones all around the edge of the room in little booths, with a manager in the middle making sure we were on the phones and not fucking about. He then passed on the leads to the sales team who would rush out like bloodhounds chasing a fox. The pay was shit. I did it because a friend said they were looking for more staff, and he said it was a laugh. He was lying out his ass about it being a laugh. Interview was basically, can you work a telephone, and do you speak English? We work 4-hour shifts at weekends and they frequently overbooked, so you had to get there early to get a seat, or you had no work for that day. I lasted 3 weeks before I just didn't go in one day. It was hell, and it was before minimum wages. The phone manager guy was an asshole and the sales guys were assholes too. If one got a lead you got a bonus from them. We called hundreds of people and I think I only saw 3 people getting a bonus from the sales guys for the lead, which was something like a 6-pack of beer or 10 pounds. Many of us were in our mid-teens at the time. So many people you called would rage about how you got their number, why you called again, etc, etc. If someone was a dick you'd mark them as not in and let someone else call back. It was another reason to try and get your seat early to get the pick of the books and have a fresh one. Throw away for obvious reasons. I worked for a firm in the UK that did exactly what Stratton Oakmont did in Wolf of Wall Street. Our clients were convinced with high pressure selling to invest in complete dogshit stocks. We were regulated and paid lip service by reciting a risk warning before agreeing a trade. Generally speaking, once people cottoned on to exactly how bad what they were doing was, they were blinded by the money they were earning and continued just for the cash. I genuinely saw a broker convince a guy to sell his wheelchair to invest into a terrible stock. I saw a partner at a major accountancy firm put his entire inheritance into worthless crap. I worked for spammers, or as it's called, email marketing, for a few quarters. It was really two companies ran by the same organization. One for sending the spam, one for handling the e-commerce. I was in charge of the e-commerce sites. The headcount was pretty small total size. While I was there was something like 20 people. Everyone kind of knew it was a shitty part of the internet to work in, but it was a job. It did also offer some interesting tech issues. Have you ever tried to send hundreds of thousands of emails a day while avoiding spam filters? Like I said, I was mainly in charge of the e-commerce platform, so I felt somewhat distant from the shadiness. People who bought the products were usually happy with them, and they got real goods for their money, but some of it was crap, like herbal quit smoking patches. These types of offers don't come from walk in the door and sit at a desk type company. These are almost likely CPA offers, offered via affiliate networks to internet marketers. I know because I've been /am that guy. Works like this. I find an offer on an affiliate network. As an example, $100 gift card. This offer pays me $1.50 per email I collect. Step 1. I advertise said offer. Step 2. I collect 100 emails. Step 3. I get paid $150. Step 4. Company follows up said person's email with niche related products to make more money for themselves. It is basically all lead gen at the end of the day. You end up on someone's mailing list. Also, if you're buying penis enlargement pills, then you're a sucker and the exact type of person people want to market to. You're easy money, basically. And no offense. One where I have some insight. I briefly worked for a company that targeted students. They sold the Teach English Abroad, or 1000 sources of free grants, etc. type of books. The books were fairly legit, but mostly just compendium of resources. They mostly just advertised in the back of different college newspapers, but decided to try the internet spam thing. Our call volume pretty much quadrupled overnight. It was pretty crazy. As to how it looked, we were basically an inbound call center. There were 4 college buddies that owned the company and had written the original books. We made 1/4 of whatever we sold, and the books sold for $49.95 or $3 for $100. Since it was inbound sales, you could make about $100 an hour. We were in a shitty loft with used furniture, etc. Still, pretty simple way to make some quick money. They did monitor your productivity though. If you failed to close enough, they would bounce you in a heartbeat. So it actually required a little bit of talent, mostly people skills, to keep the job. Thanks for watching UpGoat Reddit. Try like and subscribe button if it still works.